That's in added time. That is a tough pill to swallow.
So hard. I think, when you're fighting so hard for, especially in that second half, I feel like Chelsea were throwing absolutely everything at City and they were hanging on and doing really well. But to get a goal conceded in extra time is a really tough one. But they have to pick themselves up, right? They're about to play them again in a few days' time, so on to the next.
We were talking about then, it must be so difficult to play the same team 4 times in a row. And it's been a bit of a roller coaster, which is in itself even more difficult, right?
Yeah, even me and Ian, I feel gutted for them, so I can't imagine how the players feel, conceding in the last minute and then having to pick yourself up and go again in such a massive, massive game midweek. It's going to be tough for them. But sets up for a great game, doesn't it? I think today was a tale of 2 halves. I think City were brilliant first half, and then we've been waiting for Chelsea to see that Chelsea that have been playing so good all season, and then they turn up second half. But yeah, gutted for the girls. I think a draw probably would have been a fair result. Not to be, still a long way to go in the league. They can still get that Champions League place, but they would have liked the 3 points today.
I mean, we've come straight in, it's fresh in mind, we're focusing on the late goal, but to concede early on, I mean, perfect for what Chelsea want to do. You said that they're going to come out and be at the races straight away. It's just, is it like a hangover from the first half? You're like, right, we're going to go out and we'll do the same, and it's almost like a sucker punch to concede so early on?
Yeah, I feel like regardless of what your manager has said at half-time, you're always you want to start strong, whether it's the first half or second half. And I feel like City ended the first half really well, so to come out in the second half and be shocked by what happens is really tough. But it's interesting, it was right at the start of the second half and then the goal right towards the end, so it was right at the bookmark ends of the second half. But no, it's always tough to concede. You just had all your gels, all your drinks at half time, and you want to come out, you feel re-energised, and then to concede at that time is always really hard.
You said it off camera. Kiara Keating was your player of the match. She was sensational. It's a tough one with a goalkeeper because you lose a game and everyone it gets glossed over, but she was incredible, right?
Brilliant, and I'm so happy for her. Chose her mentality because she did have a tough few weeks prior and obviously not been in the starting lineup of recent, and then she's called upon because maybe it's a knock to Yamashita and she's ready, and she's still a young goalkeeper, and to come in, stand in against the top Chelsea team after going through all that and putting a performance specifically in the second half. It was a great performance, and I'm really happy for it. But now it gives Nick Cushion a headache, because what does he do if Yamashita's back for the Champions League game? Does he stick with Kiara? Who knows? But it's a good problem to have.
For Kiara to come in and have such a good performance, obviously Nick's come in, he's new, they're not sure who's number one. I mean, Yamashita's obviously started the first 2, but like half the games, like 3, played 2, and it's like, I've got one in. Will this give her confidence, this fixture? Oh,
for sure. I think that that position of this Man City women team has always been kind of chopped and changed, and for that that's never easy, no matter what position you play. But I think as goalkeeper, that's really hard to get consistency, but more so mentally for her to come in, play at the Etihad in front of what a lot of people have deemed the best team in the league, who are on an unbelievable form, to go in and step up on this calibre of game, and the saves she was pulling out were really genuinely world class, and she kept Man City in this game for a lot longer, and obviously conceded at the end, but I thought she was brilliant. And aside from her saves, I actually thought her distribution was really good as well, which is usually I think why Yamashita would be selected in Gareth Taylor's lineup, but I thought her distribution was great today as well.
Chelsea really showed that their bench their squad depth is just unbelievable. City have got injuries, we all know that, but was this like the perfect example of we're running low on players almost, and Chelsea have got everyone fit and more sort of thing?
Yeah, I think Nick Cushion would have liked more options towards maybe the 75-minute mark. I think the game had really turned. Then Beattie was saying about it earlier, that when you get stuck in that phase against Chelsea where they're putting so much pressure on you, you need to make a change, and it's really difficult to get out of that. And I was looking to the bench thinking, I don't really see a way out or what Nick can do. His hands are kind of tied. On the other hand, I'm looking at Sonia Bonpasta's bench and I'm thinking, she's got a lot of options tactically, personnel, players in different positions. She can change the formation, and I think that's the difference. I said before the show that it's the superpower, and it's got them 3 points today.
Personally, from like your guys' experience, you see a world-class player coming off the bench, you're already knackered. What's like the mindset there? And it's like, look, I know I'm going to have to see out the 90 here, and you're coming on one of the best, and you're fresh as a daisy. Like, is it I'm going to have to dig in here, or is it like, how long?
I think that's definitely more from a centre-back, right? Because forwards are way more likely to be subbed into a game. You're never going to be like, as a striker, if a centre-back's coming on, you're still going to be like, yeah, I've got you. Whereas as a centre-back, 100%, I've had that feeling if come 75, 80 minutes, if, you know, it's been a really intense physical game and being in that position where you see Frank Kirby come off the bench or, you know, someone, another international level who's just going to run in behind or just drag you about here, there and everywhere. And no, it's difficult, but you still have to have that back yourself. No, we're structured, we're organised. Don't let that sneak into the game because it's a competitive league. Every team has top level players that are going to come in for every reason. Their managers back them to do it. So it's more a mentality at that point, but you can't ever think, of course, when you're playing against Chelsea and it's Ramirez and Cuthbert and Kira Walsh can come off the bench as well, it's like, right, how many more world-class players do you want to have? But it's a mentality. You just have to stick with it, stay disciplined, stay structured, stay organised, and trust yourself, trust your team that you can carry it on to the end.
I think it's a case as well. I think it's a difficult one for the girls. It's a really young team that finished the game there for Manchester City, and it's kind of, do we see it out and get a point? Do we push on because we need the win, because, you know, we want that Champions League place and we need the 3 points? And then obviously to concede in the last minute, but it is that balance, isn't it? You know, you need your experienced players out there to manage the game, to see it out, and maybe you don't concede in the 96th minute then. But yeah, it's a tough one to take for the girls today.
Right, let's look at the table. We are four points off Manchester United to get into that Champions League spot. Still to play. Is it still in City's hands?
I don't think it's in the hands, but I think it's doable, most definitely. I mean, the 4 points behind, they've still got to play Manchester United, who are ahead of them. There's 3 points if you win that game, and I'm sure with the quality in this league that Manchester United are capable of dropping other points against other opponents. So, yeah, I mean, it's still to fight for, 100%. It's gutting for the girls that they've lost because they played really well first half. But, I mean, the attention now turns to Champions League, but further on from that, I mean, Nick will be pretty confident that they can still do it.
Again, it's one of them, we lost, but that first half, they were magic, right? It was so good. And again, taking away the positives, that first half, Kerolin Nicoli was ridiculous. You can still take positives and be like, okay, we can bring this into the next game. It's not all doom and gloom. It feels like that because obviously it's so late on, but we can build on this, right?
Yeah, I think for sure on that. I think that you have to, aside from the result today, still look at performances and moments where you've done things really well, and there's loads to take from that first half for Man City and previous games. And also understand that it's still, Nick's still finding his feet in terms of in the role and what he can get out of these players. But I agree with Tony, I think the United game's absolutely massive. You have to take points off ones who are around you in the league, but it's definitely not over until that final game and last game of the season. But Champions League, in terms of qualification, has to be the focus going into that.
Right, let's talk UWCL. We are 27th of March. We take on Chelsea for the fourth and final time. We have live commentary. Is it almost like a blessing now? Like you said, Nick's still getting used to the team, but also like he's going to be learning about Chelsea, right? Every single game, it's like you see something different. You pick up something else. Is it a case of stop this, forget that, we're going to the next game now?
Yeah, I think I can't even imagine. I've never been in that position where I've played the same team 4 times back to back. So I can't even imagine what a manager, how they must be handling it. But I do think for Nick at this point, he's seen the substitutions that Chelsea can make. He's seen some rotations that might happen, and of course there's so many levels to what they can do and how many options they have. But I think he'll have seen enough now to know, right, okay, if they do X, Y, and Z, this is what we do. So now more of a plan A, B, and C, because what we've talked about before, you can't just do plan A over and over again and expect it to work. So I think he'll be way more adaptable and know what to expect going into this 4th game. So, and it's a huge tie. Champions League is absolutely massive and huge for both teams. I think Man City want to be the team to knock Chelsea out of it, and like we spoke about earlier, Chelsea want to win it. So that's going to be a really, really exciting game.
After you.
No, yeah, I think also to add to that, I just think City are protecting a 2-goal lead as well, so it's a bit different to, like, for example, the cup final or the game today, where obviously it's just 0-0. It's a game of football and it's all to play for on that day. City are protecting that 2 goals, so it's going to be interesting from both managers. The other games have been like a bit like a chess game. Who are you going to play today? Are you going to make changes? What formation is it? But this time they might have to come with something different, like is Nick going to sit in and can you score 3 against us? Might he do something completely different, play with the back 5? Who knows? Like, you don't know what's up his sleeve. He said in his interviews prior, you know, we're going to be mixing up the formation. And so, but also for Sonia, you know, Sonia Bompasta, does she then go all offensive? And it's just going to be so interesting, that game. And they've already been like a chess game already. So come Thursday, it's going to be a cracker.
Right, we're going to come back to this chat, but before that, we're going to hear from Kirsten Kasperai.
Kirsten, it feels like a particularly cruel way to lose a football match. Just your immediate thoughts after the game today?
Tired. Almost too tired now. Yeah, no, it feels really sour, I would say. I think we should have walked away with the minimum of a point. But at the end of the day, like, I'm really proud of the team. I'm really proud of us, the way we've turned it around. The last few games, obviously, hard games in a short span of time with a really small squad. So everybody puts their best effort in. So at the end of the day, I can only be proud of the girls. Yeah,
how do you sort of assess the last 3 games? Lots of positives, big wins in the Champions League. I know we were just on the losing side today and in the cup final, but as you say, there was some real progress in the last sort of 10 days or so.
Yeah, there is real progress, and I think we can be so proud of that, and it shows how much potential we have. I think there's so much room for us to grow as a team and for us as individuals, but at the end of the day, we want to walk away with 3 points or with a win in the cup final. So as much as we're proud of what we've done and the achievements or the improvements that we're making, we still want to win, and to not win today after feeling like we should have at least had a point is just really frustrating.
Yeah, as you say, from especially in that first half, plenty of positives to take. Again, really strong performance from Kerolin, and Chiara made a string of great saves in the second half. So like you say, although disappointment at the moment, there's positives to take forward. Yeah, I mean, and the girls had to step up, obviously, with Yama not being in the squad at the moment. Like, Chiara had to step up. I think she did amazing with the amount of saves she's done in the second half. She's definitely kept us in the game. And Karen, obviously, that first goal is amazing. And her just having to come in and putting in performances like that is something she can be really proud of, and shows what amazing players we have and the quality that we have. Just finally, 3 games against Chelsea down, 1 more to go. Big game on Thursday. Does that almost help, having that game so quickly after today, to kind of just refocus and reset our minds onto the next one?
Yeah, I like having, obviously, you know, it being another Chelsea game. It's funny, but I think it's good for us to have a game every 3-4 days. I think it keeps us in the rhythm. It keeps us in the flow of playing, and it also doesn't let us dwell on this loss for too long. And we've got a 2-0 to hopefully extend or make to a 3-0 pretty quickly on Thursday. So we've got all to play for, and I think that helps us going.
Thank you for your time, Kirsten.
Thank you so much.
Goodness, you've got to feel for the opening line. I'm just so tired. It's just, I feel you. I completely feel you. My thinking is, right, let me land. So we've played them 3 times already. We're currently 2-0 up in the Champions League. The performances have been good. Like you said, we've got to go now there and defend it. The game is different. Do you think we're in a good position to qualify, to go through?
Yeah, most definitely. If you're winning 2-0, like, of course. I mean, the performances have been there. Okay, second half, not so much. It's normal, you know, Kasperai saying how tired she is, and you can see that. But, I mean, of course, after them performances, as long as they keep doing that, if they've got the energy levels to do it. But Chelsea are in the same boat. They've played the same games, and I loved what she said there as well, that she said, you know, people normally complain we've got a game again in 3 days, but she looked at it positively. Like, when you lose a game like that as a player, you want to get straight back out there, and that's the opportunity that they've got to do now.
Obviously, we could be in with a semi-final date with Barcelona, which is a different kettle of fish, but obviously we did beat them in the group stages, so they do have that. Yeah, what are your thoughts about a semi-final tie against Barcelona? I feel like that is the fixture people look at now. Like, it's the pedestal to go to play against Barcelona, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting because I don't for 1 minute think the players will be thinking about that fixture yet at all. That feels like so far away.
Running away with
Don't
yeah. No, and yeah, they won't want to
Yeah.
make guesses or tempt fate or, you know, presume that they'll be qualified. But I think Tony's spot on. I think 2-0. Why can't we get through? You know, to have that result, and it is so right. The game does totally change, but you know, of course, the more you progress, the more you want to win it. And once you've had a taste for it, you want it over and over. But I genuinely don't think they'll be looking at the Barca we might be, because we can be like, that's going to be a great game. Especially.
Sign me off.
Yeah, I'll be there. We'll be back.
Here. Yeah, absolutely.
Like, of course, it's two unbelievably footballing teams. I think that would be an unbelievable semi-final. So we'll see if they make it.
This is cliche now, but I want to ask you guys.
Another one.
Look, this is our live.
Let 'em land,
Right,
let 'em land.
yeah, let me land. You do it, come on. Right, so it's 2-0. Dangerous scoreline, everyone always says. That's what people always say. 2-0 is a dangerous scoreline.
Never understood that.
Yeah.
That's what I mean. Is it like, and even more so as a first leg and you're going in as a second leg, it feels safer. Tempting fate again, sorry. I'm counting all these chickens before they hatch. But yeah, 2-0.
That's another great line.
You like these? I've got these all day. We can
I'm
keep
writing
rolling.
these down. Put them in my back pocket.
To be fair, I would much rather be in Nick Cushion's position than Sonia Bompasta. It doesn't matter the result. You want, if you're winning and you're ahead, that's the position you want to be in. It doesn't matter if 2-0, they'd say 1-0's a dangerous scoreline, 2-0's a dangerous scoreline. I would much rather be defending a win than having to go and get 3 goals against the good Manchester City side.
Absolutely. Right, you can catch us on Man City Esports as the E-Premier League kicks off. Tex and Matty look to go back-to-back in the E-Premier League, and you can watch that on EA Sports FC Twitch channel throughout. Guys, thank you so much for joining us. Jen, an absolutely stellar
Jen,
debut.
It was a pleasure.
Oh, Jen Beattie, MBE, an absolutely
Thanks, Toni.
stellar debut. But it's been
Thanks for having me.
absolutely
It's
loads
been
of fun.
awesome.
Result wasn't there, but, you know, thank you very much, and we hope to see you again soon. Asahi Superdry takes you on a journey through Tokyo to celebrate their partnership with Manchester City and this season's training kit. We invite fans to be led by curiosity and discover Tokyo's unique tales, phrases and individuals, all through the eyes of our training kit.
The ZA of Tokyo? Sure, let's go. Z. Sega Hidemo. Y is for you because there's only one. X. Check please. W is for wonder. V is valiance. U, uniform, unified, Uchage Hanabi. T is for Takashi Ogami. S, silver. R is for reinvention. Q, we are quietly confident. P, precision. O, we go for one cup. N, we're those noisy neighbors. M, meticulous, measured, mastered. L is for those late nights with friends or strangers. K is kawaii. Ah, that's cute. J, junior, toiro. I is for intrigue. H is for Harajuku, the place to be yourself. G is to be gifted. F, 不可能を可能にするのは努力だ. Always express yourself. D is for dedication. C is to be carefree. B is for beer. And A for the best one there is. Asahi Super Dry.